News at 6. Flash flooding hits parts of Lecher County hard once again. And just weeks after finishing the cleanup from the 2022 flood, some Knott County residents are dealing with flood damage again.
And we're not out of the woods yet. Flooding concerns still an issue. That's the reason why a flood watch is still in effect. Details coming up.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. WYMT Mountain News at 6 starts now with First Alert Weather.
And those First Alert weather days now continue through the first half of the weekend, as our flooding threat is not quite over yet. Now, before we talk about the damage last night's flooding caused, let's check in with meteorologist Eric Dean about what to expect overnight.
That's right, Steve. Take a look at some of the rainfall totals. This is over the past 24 hours. The big winner, look at Jackson, 2.5 inches of rain, just under 1.5 inches near the Whitesburg area, over 2 inches near the Hindman area. Of course, that was the hardest hit areas last night. We're seeing another round push through right now. This is a scene in Pikeville. You can see mainly cloudy skies out there. Temperatures right now are in the 80s, some places the low 90s. There's that flood advisory in effect until 7 o'clock. For portions of Pike County, just south of Pikeville, near the Millard area. Let's go ahead and take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. And you're noticing that line of activity near the Pound and Norton area across portions of Wise County, over towards the Cumberland area, seeing some shower activity as well. And then just east of Hazard, getting in on some thunderstorm activity. Now, this is going to continue to push its way to the south and southeast. Once this line pushes through, we'll keep a stray shower in the forecast as we go throughout the next several hours. I think at that point, though, the majority of us will stay dry. Temperatures right now, look at Williamsburg at 91 degrees. We're at 86 in London, 84 in Somerset, 89 in Monticello. You factor in that feels like temperature, 100 in Harlan, 100 in Jonesville. Monticello's at 102, 100 in Williamsburg. If you have plans over the next several hours, take the rain gear just in case you get under a shower or two, but temperatures will be in the upper 70s and low 80s. We'll time the weekend out coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. Flash flooding last night hit several communities in the area, with many people saying it's becoming a trend they are tired of seeing. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at what the waters left behind in Lecher County.
Every time it rains, people here are on pins and needles, wondering if they're going to lose everything they got again.
The people of McRoberts spent Thursday night in a familiar place.
I was up all night watching the creek, make sure.
Watching the water rise on one side while it poured from the mountaintops on the other.
It was just a repeat of the flood of 2022. Just the water wasn't as high, but a lot of the damage is the same as it was last time.
Families braced themselves for the worst. When the sun broke through Friday, they were left with another often repeated routine.
And it almost came in the house last night. Behind me, you can see the sediment line.
From Chopping Branch to Shays Fork, homes and properties were hit with raging waters and left with piles of muck, creating a heartache that makes some wonder if they can still call it home.
Really frustrating, and just want to sell out and move.
Continue to pray for the community and the people affected by it. I mean, it's just an everyday thing for us at this point now.
Several other communities in Lecher County saw that familiar flooding yesterday as well. Here in the city of Fleming Neon, Main Street was covered twice in floodwaters, and as you can see behind me, the school's football field was also hit. Some areas have worked to adapt with drain systems and reinforced walls in place to help mitigate the mess. Yet the water keeps coming.
And it will happen again.
Community members have suggested a host of solutions, including an overhaul of the drainage systems, addressing water from the abandoned mine lands in the area, and dredging the creeks.
There has to be a solution. There has to be.
Saying until someone steps in, they will walk together.
That's what neighbors are. If you're true neighbors, you get out and you help each other because you're not getting help from anywhere else. If you don't do it, who's going to do it?
With local work crews hitting the pavement, communities working to clean up together, and folks finding time to deliver a little hope.
They've done a really good job, and I'm really thankful for them.
But they say the water has a way of wearing them all down.
We are desperate. Please try to get some of this water off of us. This is our home.
And they worry the county will die if it can't get dry. In Lecher County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Several businesses and churches in Neon were hit, and there is a community cleanup scheduled for tomorrow to help clean up the middle school football field. 2 people are safe after surviving a swift water rescue in Wolfe County. Search and rescue crews responded last night to the middle fork of the Red River near Torrent Falls. Officials say the victims tried to drive across the flooded river when their vehicle stalled and rolled downstream, forcing them into the rapids. Rescuers located a footbridge downstream, allowing them to reach and safely escort both back to safety. The National Weather Service issued a rare flash flood emergency for parts of Knott County last night. WYMT's Jake Levine talked to folks cleaning up there today as he continues our team coverage.
Last night, some parts of Knott County received up to 6 inches of rainfall in a recent estimate. And now where I'm standing was part of this creek last night. So this morning, I've talked to folks who have been helping with the cleanup efforts.
We was hoping it wouldn't be this fast where we just got it clean, but Mother Nature had another plan.
Bobby Cottle and Keith Ambergy have worked to clean up Knott County for the past 4 years.
That's all I can say. We just got through cleaning this up from the flood of 2022. Yeah. 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago.
But now they're back to square one after another devastating flood prompted a rare flash flood emergency.
When we got it cleaned up, we said, well, reckon how long it'll be before another one hits us. Yeah. Here we go, 6 weeks later. Yeah.
The mindset of will it happen again is now fading into when will it happen again. And emergency management officials say a big issue is debris in the waterways.
There was a gentleman in Neon. He was exactly correct. When I went out last year for the 25 flood to document that, hundreds of people said, when are they going to clean the creeks out? When are they going to clean the creeks out? It's not going to get any better. It's going to constantly fill up. It has nowhere to go.
Knott County was among the hardest hit in 2022, and although floods can't be stopped, their impact on lives can sometimes be managed. Officials believe they are now better prepared.
We're at the mercy of Mother Nature. Being prepared, we here in our county, we have learned from errors we may have had in the past.
As the cleanup continues, officials hope we'll get a break from Mother Nature.
I don't want to see anybody else have to go through it. Yeah, we didn't figure it'd be this bad when we got here, but it was. Yeah.
So although much of the water has receded at this point here in Knott County, more rainfall and more flash flooding could be on its way this evening, so folks are asked to stay alert. Here in Knott County, Jake Levine, WYMT Mountain News.
Emergency officials are urging folks to make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. That can, of course, include the WYMT weather app. We'll take a look at these images from the Ball Creek Fire and Rescue Squad in Knott County. Members say they successfully saved 11 people during swift water emergencies, despite their own apparatus being crushed by a fallen tree. Members were responding to water rescues last night when a large tree fell from a cliff and hit their emergency vehicle. The driver was able to walk away, and the damaged apparatus is being evaluated for insurance. Crews were still able to rescue 7 adults and 4 young children. And by the way, no injuries have been reported in any of the flooding last night. In Clay County, a 41-year-old man is behind bars in connection to a 10-year-old murder case. State police say Jonathan Hacker is charged with murder and kidnapping for the 2016 death of Cecil Burkhart. Burkhart was reported missing back then, and police later found his remains in Leslie County. Hacker was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. A Johnson County man is behind bars after an arrest involving a police standoff and a taser deployment. Officers arrested 26-year-old Caramino Gonzalez overnight at the Elite Apartments complex. Police say Gonzalez locked a woman in a bedroom, tried to attack officers with a knife, and assaulted a child. He faces multiple charges, including unlawful imprisonment, child abuse, and assault on a police officer. Gonzalez was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. A trial date was set for a man charged in connection with another man's death in Pike County. The jury trial for Paul Coleman was set for April 19th of next year. He was charged with manslaughter in connection with Greeley Hurley's death. The incident happened in April of last year when Kentucky State Police were called to the parking lot of a business in Belfry.
All right, this is the scene right now at the WYMT studios. You're seeing some shower activity pushing through portions of eastern Kentucky. We'll time everything out coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes.
And a deadly cluster of pediatric brain cancer cases in southeastern Kentucky. Tonight, how one foundation's data could hold critical clues.
Now, WYMT First Alert weather with meteorologist Eric Dean.
All right, here's a look at your weekend planner. Saturday and Sunday, we'll see temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s, keeping a storm chance in the forecast for both days. Sunday, though, the shower and storm chance will be later on in the evening hours. The ground's still going to be saturated, but if you have plans, take advantage of the first half of the day. This is the scene right now in Moorhead. We're seeing a little bit of cloud cover out there. At this hour, we move down to Pikeville. You can see mainly cloudy skies. We had some shower activity push through portions of Pike County earlier. This is the scene right now in Somerset, seeing a little bit of cloud cover out there. Traffic is moving very smooth on this Friday evening. And here at the WYMT studios, look at this. We have a nice little cloud pushing through. Shower chances will start to ramp up here in Perry County as we go throughout the next several minutes. Flood watch is still in effect for the counties highlighted in green. So from Rowan County down to Perry County, over towards Knott County, back over towards Mingo, Logan, and Perry, and Mingo County, Logan County, as well as Wayne County. There it is, Wayne County in West Virginia under the flood watch until 11 p.m. Your first alert over the next 24 hours, rain and storms lit up in yellow. We'll keep that shower activity in the forecast for the next few hours. It's going to taper off overnight, then it's going to pick back up again as we go throughout the afternoon hours of your Saturday. With that in mind, flash flooding risk in effect for everybody in the WYMT viewing area. That is a level 2 on a scale of 1 to 4. For your Saturday, from Rowan County to Mingo and Logan County is under a level 2 out of 4. From Menifee down to Lee County in Virginia is under a marginal risk or a level 1 on a scale of 1 to 4. So here's your setup right now. We have a stationary boundary that is in play, and of course we've been in this pattern for the past several days. Slight risk for severe weather, or a level 2 out of 5, from Moorhead down to Pikeville over towards Norton. This is for the day on Saturday. Heavy wind, a little bit of hail, vivid lightning will be the main threats. Any type of tornadic activity is going to be well off to the north, near the northeastern portion of Indiana, portions of Ohio, as well as Michigan. So let's go ahead and time everything out using Future View. Again, a renegade shower or two in the evening and overnight hours. By Saturday morning, we start off with a mixture of sun and clouds. We'll see those temperatures go back up again, but watch what happens as we go into the afternoon hours. I feel like this particular model is kind of underperforming a little bit. These short-range models over the past several months have just been underperforming. I think we'll see a little bit more activity with this particular cell, but it's going to be out of here as we go throughout your evening and overnight hours. And then, as mentioned, Sunday will start off nice, and then shower chances will start to pick up. The heaviest band, though, will be in Louisa, Logan, even towards the Prestonsburg area. So the first alert forecast for tonight: 72 degrees. Storm chances continue. Will turn mostly cloudy overnight with a nice light west-northwesterly wind. Your detailed 12-hour forecast for your Saturday. Again, keep the rain gear handy with you. We'll keep the shower chances in the forecast. We'll go to the mid-80s by noon, 90s as we go into the afternoon and early evening hours. The ARH 10-day forecast for the weekend is always in view. Takes us to 90 for Sunday, 86 for Monday, the remainder of the 10-day. How about mid-80s for Wednesday going into Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of next week? Well, we have the shower and storm chances in the forecast. Bottom line, Steve, do not put away the rain gear just yet. That's the latest first alert forecast. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. The CDC is investigating a rare and deadly cluster of pediatric brain cancer in eastern Kentucky. 10 cases of DIPG have been reported since 2024, a state that typically sees just 2 to 3 cases a year. Tonight, WKYT investigates Samantha Valentino shows us how a Cincinnati-based foundation's data could hold critical answers for local families.
When families in eastern Kentucky voiced concerns about the number of DIPG cases in their community, investigators needed data. They turned to Cincinnati.
We can actually look at the demographics, we can look at the genetics, we can look at the tissue, and we can look at the radiological reports. So we can actually see how these tumors grow. We can see how they respond maybe to the influence of certain types of trials or radiation or anything of these sorts. but it also gave us a really, really valuable tool when there would be questions about, are there more cases in one area over another?
The Kentucky Department for Public Health confirmed 10 DIPG cases in eastern Kentucky since 2024. The state typically sees 2 to 3 cases a year statewide. The CDC is now working alongside state leaders to determine whether any environmental factors are involved. That investigation is ongoing. For families in the region, the questions are urgent, and right now, answers are scarce. Keith Desrick knows this disease better than most. His 6-year-old daughter, Elena, was diagnosed with DIPG in 2006 and given just 5 months to live. Keith and his wife Brooke later founded The Cure Starts Now, dedicated to finding a home run cure for cancer.
You decided this is bigger than us.
Yeah.
We want to find a cure.
Well, it started with actually when we were in the fight with Elena, and after talking to a doctor, and the doctor mentioned to us that this was the type of cancer he always wanted to focus on. This was the cancer they could learn the most from.
But learning from DIPG required data, and in 2011, Keith noticed a critical gap. Existing registries were incomplete.
They would only collect just the data that they could afford to collect underneath a clinical trial. They wouldn't collect necessarily the genetic history. They wouldn't collect necessarily maybe where the families lived. They were just collecting what they needed.
Without complete data, researchers hit a wall.
Let's say we found something that was interesting. We couldn't tell you why it happened.
So the Desricks worked to help build something better, the International DIPG-DMG Registry and Repository, now a partnership of 129 hospitals in nearly 30 countries. It collects everything: genetics, demographics, tissue samples, radiological reports, and it's free for families to join.
The registry was built by parents for parents. Really all it takes is that a family can even go to dipgregistry.org, and they just have to sign up and say, I want to participate in it. It's really that simple.
Once enrolled, the registry reaches out to the family's hospital for records, and it goes further than data collection.
They can actually get a consult with a member of a doctor from that registry team who can reach out to you and say, here's some options, here's some things that you can look at with it. And it's free.
That registry is now central to understanding what's happening in eastern Kentucky. Keith says they first received inquiries from concerned parents.
Then we ended up getting some inquiries that came also from the state. And that's the way it typically does work in most of these situations. At the end, though, it comes down to, what do we know? What type of data it is? And so the registry has started to look at how many cases are in the state of Kentucky.
The registry has fewer than 50 cases going back to the early 2000s. Keith says that's a lot, but it's not a large number for almost 25 years of data.
Then the question is do you have anything that's in these geographic regions? And the answer to it is that we don't have all the data that we need.
That's because families and hospitals have to opt in to allow the registry to collect their data. Keith says DIPG remains rare, about 350 cases nationwide each year. But rare doesn't mean reassuring, not when it's happening in your community. He believes they can get answers, but first, they need the data.
We have to walk into it and say, let's get to the bottom of it, let's get the data. It's the only thing that's going to get rid of that fear. It's the only thing that's going to either solve this or it's going to make us feel better. But we need your help.
For WKYT Investigates, I'm Samantha Valentino.
The CDC and Kentucky health officials say their investigation into the unusual number of DIPG cases in southeastern Kentucky is ongoing. You can find more information and a link to the DIPG registry inside the WYMT News app. Coming up next in sports, Lecher County Central begins its football season under a new head coach. Hear from him in our next Williamsburg Tourism Pigskin Preview.
This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
Former Missouri forward Mark Mitchell could be the final piece for Kentucky's basketball roster this season. Whether or not that can happen remains in limbo. This morning, a Louisville judge declined to immediately open a transfer portal window for Mitchell and other athletes seeking a 5th year of eligibility. Instead, both sides have until August 18th to submit additional arguments, with the ruling expected by the end of next week. The timing creates a narrow path for Mitchell as UK's fall semester begins August 24th. For now, the Wildcats are left waiting on the court's decision. As we continue our Williamsburg Tourism Pigskin previews, we check out one of several mountain programs that have a new leader at the helm of their program. Lecher County Central is coming off of a 6-5 2025 campaign, but enters a new era as Brandon Haynes steps into his first season as head coach. Despite the coaching change, the Cougars have some continuity, with senior quarterback Gunnar Holbrook returning. He threw for nearly 2,000 yards last season with 26 touchdowns. The Cougars also have a core group of seniors returning to the lineup as well, but the team says do not be surprised to hear some youngsters get their name called.
I think the seniors are going to be huge, especially the ones that we have are kind of in key positions, so to speak, when you're talking both on the offensive and defensive sides. I think having that leadership is going to be big. It's going to bring these freshmen up pretty quickly, and we're going to have quite a few freshmen make an impact on the team this year, so that's going to be refreshing to see.
On the offensive side, we got a lot of depth to us, so we got people we can plug in and play. A lot of freshmen coming up. It's going to help us a lot. Defensive side, we got that. We're mean about it. We're gritty. We got a good coach. We got a good DC. So I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good year.
The younger guys, they all coming up from the middle school. They're all super good. We're going to have a few starting this year. And just having that role model and that leader to show them, what it takes to be great at this level, that's really what they need.
Lecher County Central opens their season on a neutral site, taking on Johnson Central at Shelby Valley next Saturday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. as a part of the Blue and White Bowl. And also next Saturday, the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame 2026 class will be inducted at 7:30 p.m. in the Lexington Opera House. Some of the inductees include Hindman and Knott County's Herbie Stamper, who recorded more than 2,100 points for the Yellow Jackets and Patriots, leading Knott County to their first Sweet 16 appearance, as well as Maytown High School's 2,300-point scorer Bob Talent and Rockcastle County girls basketball head coach Christy Noble, who led the Rockets to the state championship in 2011. And tonight we take a look at some of the top programs in the mountains in our Williamsburg Tourism Top 10 show. The action begins right here on WYMT at 7 p.m. Here's a little look at what's to come. That's it for sports. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here at 11. The CBS Evening News is up next. Have a good night and a great weekend.